Hello, I'm Dane DiFebo, Museum Educator of the National Civil War Museum here in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and I bring to you this See, Touch, and Feel moment for the month of September, sponsored by Dixon AC&R of Williamsport, Pennsylvania. We all know the story of the April 1861 bombardment of the magnificent stone United States military installation known as Fort Sumter and its subsequent surrender to Confederate forces at the war's beginning. But how important was this fort to Civil War strategists as the war progressed? Early September 1863, 158 years ago, provides another window through which we can view the history of Fort Sumter and its importance to the defense of Charleston, South Carolina. The Union blockade of Charleston, the birthplace of secession, was anything but friendly, as in April of 1863, the ironclads of the South Atlantic Blockading Squadron had deployed an assault on Fort Sumter, an attack that was unsuccessful, and the Confederates were able to strengthen the fort with a workforce of less than 50 slaves after this assault. By mid-August of 1863, the fort had 40 artillery pieces defending it. And the fort then afterwards received a severe bombardment from Union batteries on nearby Morris Island. In early September, Confederate General P.G.T. Beauregard withdrew all but one of the fort's guns and left 320 Confederate infantrymen to defend the fort from an endless possibility of attacks. That attack came on the night of September 8, 1863, when 400 Union sailors and Marines in 25 boats launched an assault. Less than half of these boats were able to land at Sumter, and those men that made it were unable to scale the walls of the fort. The Confederates in the fort in nearby Fort Johnson and on the CSS Chicora fired on the landing party with everything they had. And in the end of the Second Battle of Fort Sumter, 105 men of the Union landing party were forced to surrender. Additional bombardments of Fort Sumter ensued through the remainder of the war as the Confederates used more savaged artillery to defend the fort. Though the fort never surrendered in a direct assault, William Tecumseh Sherman's march through South Carolina forced the evacuation of Charleston and the abandonment of Fort Sumter on February 17, 1865. In these later war photographs from the collection of the National Civil War Museum show Fort Sumter left in a ruinous state from constant bombardment, especially during the siege of Charleston from September of 1863 through the war's end. The first photograph I'd like to show you shows the fort is a George Cook photograph which shows Fort Sumter's ruins and was featured in Volume 1 of the book series, The Photographic History of the Civil War. This shows the fort after a bombardment in September of 1863 and a demolished upper casemate. Seen perched on the chimney of the bake oven are Confederate soldiers. This oven would have also been used to heat solid shot called hot shot, which was used effectively against wooden vessels. The second photograph I'd like to show is a stereo view of the debris from the bombardment of the outer wall of the fort, resulting in several bombardments that occurred between August and September of 1863 and the end of the war. You can faintly see 5 men among the rubble of the fort. The third photograph I'd like to show is a George Stacy stereo view of the sea face wall of Fort Sumter, showing damage from cannon fire. Union sailors and Marines were said to have hid in such holes as the assault was made on Fort Sumter on the night of September 8, 1863. The next photograph I'd like to show is a view of the interior of Fort Sumter, and it's an albumen print that was attributed to George N. Barnard. This photo shows the softer defenses and gabions that were used in 1864 and 1865 to protect the fort's defenders rather than the earlier stone wall of the original fort's design. And then the last photo I would like to show is an exterior view of the damaged Fort Sumter that was also attributed to George N. Barnard. This shows an earthen wall as well as stone and brick and rock rubble and a damaged artillery gun tube. Thank you for listening to this National Civil War Museum See, Touch, and Feel moment. Please subscribe to the museum's YouTube channel where you can view other videos like this. Thank you.